2019. It's been a bit of a year.
God, that's getting old, huh? This is the third year you've seen that. I don't think, no, osmosis, there's no dancing. Tap dancing?
No, thank you all so much for making DerbyCon what it was. We will miss all of this. Thank you all so much.
That says that Dave Kennedy is probably one of the most dapper security professionals on the face of the planet.
Take DerbyCon with you, and thank you all so much.
Fair warning, these tools are my picks, with a predilection for things that are new as of 2019. However, if I like it, I like it. I also focused on the defensive perspective here, specifically because at the end of the day, all of the work that we do in cybersecurity is to help out on the defensive side. Even if you're an offensive style of cybersecurity work or a defensive style, we want to prevent organizations from experiencing the level of pain that they simply are on a day-to-day basis today. So, if you're a defender, here's my top picks. First, let's see some of our honorable mentions. First on the list here is a Microsoft product, and to be fair, in 2019, in fact even a bit of 2018, and the legacy continues, Microsoft has been one of our best benefactors in cybersecurity. They've just been doing great work on making their products more securable by us. Microsoft ATP is certainly not an end-all, be-all, but its feature set has grown so wildly this year that when it's an included opportunity that we already have available, it's one that we certainly should consider outstanding. List is Deep Blue CLI. Deep Blue CLI is a PowerShell-based framework built by Eric Conrad with a lot of additional support by Joshua Wright. It's one of the tools that we recommend and teach, in fact, in TBT 570, because it's truly just outstanding. It gives you the ability to get insight and actually interact with attackers in order to control your environments and gain more levels of security. So going into the next decade, the core is going to remain important. Things like Bro and Zeek on the network side, and things like AppLocker or Sysmon on the host side. These are not solutions that cost us anything additional, and they're already available. They formed our previous decade, and they're going to continue to transform the 20s. If you haven't invested some time into these tools, you're on the defensive side in cybersecurity. I encourage you to do so. That said, we've got something special for 2019. In the case of 2019, my pick, and in talking to a bunch of people out there asking what they thought the most transformative thing of this past year from a cybersecurity defensive perspective is, one kept coming up over and over again, and that's Azure AD password protection. Now I know what you're saying. Azure AD, Microsoft, we've already talked about them, and boring. Well, you're not wrong, but at the same time, in my opinion, one of the most valuable cybersecurity changes that we've seen over the past decade is this right here, and it's new. The reason is, in 2001, in 1991, and in 2011, the soft underbelly of our security environments is passwords. And in the 20s, we've got an opportunity to change that. For example, what are the top 3 most commonly used passwords?
Someone didn't bother reading my carefully prepared memo on commonly used passwords. Now then, as I so meticulously pointed out, the 4 most used passwords are love, sex, secret, and God. So, would Your Holiness care to change her password?
No, it's actually not those. Today, our top 3 passwords come in 3 standard formats. The first one is password 1, capital P for complexity, welcome 123, and winter 2019, or winter 19. Now these are all, again, just password formats. Using the word password in your password, it's a style of choosing a password. using something that you create when creating or instantiating a new account for users. Team reset, welcome 123, passwords that say IT chooses for new users. And then finally, of course, we've got some password history requirements, we've got password change requirements, and therefore every 90 days you got to change your password and it can't be one of the past 10, therefore winter 19. These are the 3 most common standards of password selection in use today, and as a result, attackers don't hack and exploit, they just guess and log in. Or if they have breach data, perhaps they don't even need to guess. This is the real problem with our environments today, and frankly, Microsoft has done us a fantastic favor here with Azure AD password protection. It also integrates with on-prem, and in my opinion, it's the most valuable thing that you can possibly do from 2019, moving into the new decade, 2020s, to secure your environments today. As an attacker, I don't throw exploits, I just use accounts and systems the way that they've been designed to be used. And Azure AD password protection, I think, is something that can transform the 3 most important, in my opinion, vulnerabilities to environments are, and they're all password related, password selection vulnerabilities. Azure AD password protection gives us the opportunity to change some of that. One of the interesting things about password filters is that once a user's created a password, if that password's done properly, it's been hashed. A hash is a one-way function. There's no return from a hash, which means we talk about cracking passwords. We're not reversing, we're trying everything, which means the only legitimate chance that we have of detecting whether a password that's been selected by a user is good or bad is before hashing. Password audits today, they focus on cracking, and that's a strong and fantastic way to do some of this work. However, if we would like to prevent bad passwords from existing in our environment, taking action before selection is absolutely a powerful opportunity. Azure AD password filters give us that option. And an example of why this is so important, looking at simple password audits of major enterprises in 2019, we see a couple trends hold true. The most common length of password, 8 characters. Why? Well, 8 characters is the default for Windows Active Directory functional level 2008 R2 environments. What is the second most common length of passwords in Active Directory environments and enterprises today? 6 characters. These are the same enterprises. You have enterprises that require a minimum password length of 3 characters, but the second most common password length in the entire enterprise, this is typical, is outside of the compliance requirement based on that mandatory access control to password policy. How can you check this? Well, 2 ways. A, crack all your passwords. Perform password audits. It's really important that we do this. Some of the most recent tests that I performed were for organizations that had stronger password policies than some of their domain admin passwords. I'm Matt Hussein. Have a happy holidays, a wonderful new year, and happy hacking in 2020. See ya.